Are we going? Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. We're doing another highlight of an event going on in the tech community here in Las Vegas tonight. I got Darius with me. He's the founder,
Co-organizer.
co-organizer of the Las Vegas Robotics Meetup. So tell us about the Robotics Meetup and why you got it started and what we're trying to do here tonight.
Well, Bob and I shared a vision, and over many beers, we, took the challenge upon ourselves to try and organize the robotics community in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Robotics is just at a dynamic time. I'm a degenerate startup guy. I moved to Silicon Valley after college. I went to China to see what the startup scene was there. I've started several of my own startups. Um, and robotics is just in the air. You can tell that this is the next wave that's coming. And we see all of the robotics people in Las Vegas, and it just wasn't connected. And so that's why we started talking to some of the local robotics companies like Pololu, which is where we are here today.
They're our host tonight, which is amazing. Thank you, Palolu, for hosting us tonight.
And it's such an amazing company, and so many of the people that should be using their equipment to build robots did not even know about them. And so if we're gonna, I don't think it's a competitive dynamic. Like there's going to be inventions that happen across the United States, but Las Vegas itself is 60 to 70% automatable. So
Absolutely, yeah.
we are the epicenter. So we need to know how our roboticists here in Las Vegas can build into that surf that wave.
Yeah, it sounds like the robotics community here is much larger than until tonight I even had any idea. And did you find the same thing? I felt the same way about kind of the startup community, the tech community here in general. Is there's a lot of folks doing their own thing, and it's really hard to get them together to kind of talk about things, collaborate, and build a community. Did you find the same thing when you arrived?
Las Vegas is such a brand spanking new city that it's hard to know where to convene. So there is a downtown, and that is where the tech community has traditionally been. But all the cheap real estate is south of the airport, and that's where all the robotics companies are.
Mm-hmm.
And just in general, there's been an emphasis until ChatGPT, and we can get back to that, but
Absolutely.
there's been an emphasis until ChatGPT on software as a service startups. So how can you scale quickly and make apps for the hospitality industry? How can you help people get hotels better? Robotics was definitely not seen as the focus of Las Vegas, but that's all changing now that suddenly robots can be smart enough that they can start to serve you drinks. And there's actually a lot of other activities such as defense work here in Las Vegas. And of course, they're not allowed to socialize as much.
I was part of that community when I was on active duty in the Air Force, so I know what that's like.
Yes. I think that there is a sea change happening that will bring robotics into the mainstream, and we just need to aim ahead of the puck.
Okay, so what about Chat GPT and generative AI is driving the train here on putting robotics to the forefront of the community?
I mean, when the big problem with robotics has been putting robots in for the domain of hospitality is putting robots near other people. So if a robot can trip someone or trip onto someone, there's this danger level, and it's the common sense aspect of it that ChatGPT suddenly brings into the fold. Suddenly, without training a robot specifically to do that, we have large multimodal models, and the robot can sort of learn common sense ways to avoid people, and that's what's making the difference.
We can use AI to tell a robot, "Hey, just be cool."
Yes,
And then the robot
just
can go
be cool.
The robot can go figure out what it means to be cool. And you don't have to program every little action for the robot.
Jason, that's the meetup's new motto. Just be cool.
Just be cool. It's been my motto for a long time, but I'm glad I could help.
Well, the thing that I really want to stress is that we're not just a meetup group. So we are aiming for larger things in the community, and the meetup group is the first step towards that.
Okay.
And towards that, we're creating a directory so that all of the robotics people can talk to each other and find each other. And it's a karma-based meetup group. So we want you to ask for help and give help, and hopefully in equal measure. So, and building on that, we're hoping that we can introduce entrepreneurialism into that and ask for connections so that we can bring this community to the attention of Silicon Valley and show them, hey, this is the perfect place. Even though you might have funded a startup in California, where do you really want to do a pilot project? Las
Absolutely.
Vegas.
Where does everybody want to do everything in
Exactly.
Las Vegas? Well, I hope we can help you with that. I'm part of an organization called Vets in Tech, looking to help veterans get into the tech world somehow, whether that's through finding a job, whether that's through education or through entrepreneurship. And I think Bob and I are going to talk a little bit about that tonight, about because I know you guys have, in addition to the directory, in addition to getting people to ask for help and provide help, you have some other things, a bigger vision. And I don't know if you want to get into that here, if you'd rather have Bob get into that. Or,
I'll let Bob
okay.
explain some of the different options.
I would love to hear Bob's take, because Bob goes back way back with the founder of Vets in Tech, Catherine Webster, as well. So what else? What else should we know about the meetup tonight? We're going for probably another 45 minutes or so, I'd say. If you're in Las Vegas and you're watching and you're interested in robotics, come on down. How often do you do this meetup?
Once a month.
Once a month. And does it move around? Is it always here?
Yeah, we've got a few staples, so some regular places. Palolu obviously has been a great supporter of ours, and
they've been fantastic tonight.
Such an amazing space. So and it's for anyone out there watching, they manufacture in the U.S. So I should let Jan give his own interview because he's going to tell you so much more. But I worry that he's not going to tell you how amazing it is that they've been manufacturing in the U.S. for 20 years where nobody else has made it work.
No, I would love to talk to him. If he's got some time, please send him in, and we'll put him on the stream tonight to shout out Palolu, because I'm just learning about it over the last couple days, and it's super exciting. So
absolutely.
All right. Anything else you want us to know about the meetup or the robotics community in general? Any big things coming up for you in the next couple of weeks?
Well, I have my own startup, and so it's an exciting time to be in solar energy.
Yes.
So I'm making solar panels that work with each other and have an intelligence built into it. And so it's a different type of robot, and we're also supporting some other robotics efforts. But that's the other thing that's always on my mind is where can I do pilot projects for innovative solar?
Awesome. Well, I hope those solar panels are going to just be cool.
Absolutely.
And
yes, Jason.
And thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for letting us be part of your meetup tonight. This is always fun for us to come and sit down and talk with the people who are coming to these meetups and get their stories. So if you would, when you walk back into the main room there, send us Bob or somebody cool to talk to.
I will.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Nice to meet you, Jason.
Great to see you again.
Nice to see you again, Jason.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. We'll just slide out of the way. You can go ahead.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. So yeah, we're hanging out here at the robotics meetup, and so if you're interested in robotics, come on down. We'll be here till 6:45, 7 o'clock, and there we've got a speaker here talking about building a robotics culture in Las Vegas. So if you are interested in all of these things, please come on down, and we are going to take a little break. You go right there.
Okay.
Everything coming through okay on the stream, Sophia? Looking good. Go ahead. I'd say get yourself in the corner, kind of like this. Get comfy.
Okay, sure.
Get comfy.
Okay.
Thank you, Sophia.
I'll be like Elon Musk and light up a doobie and
Hey, it's your meetup, so
Joe Rogan. There you go.
it's your meetup. But yeah, Sophia's our producer, helps us out with these things. She does a great job. Thank you all for watching. I know we had a little break there, but so yeah, so we're here with Bob. And Bob is kind of the other half of getting this started. We just had Darius on telling us a little bit about the meetup, and he said, you guys have kind of some bigger plans for the robotics community and building that community here in town here. So what have you guys got up your sleeve?
Well, we want to build a community. We want to build a community from the first point. That's the whole idea. So, the ground zero is basically build the community, which is it's coming together now.
Mhm.
Excuse me. We want to help create jobs. So that's one of our missions is to help educate people on
Mhm.
robotics. We have an idea for, excuse me, some curriculum inspired workshops, which would give people the capabilities to build robots.
Mhm.
This is something I did in the Bay Area,
Mhm.
so I'm kind of familiar with the whole process. We'd like to do it here in Vegas.
We would love for you to do it here in Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for everyone here. It's the right community for it. And the additional thing, sorry, I'm just somehow have something in my throat.
Okay.
The other plan for us at some point is to raise a venture fund.
Okay.
We want to raise a $100 million plus venture fund and focus on local companies building robots.
Yeah, there are. I've learned in the last couple days there are a lot more companies building robots down here on the south side of town than I think most people had any idea. So,
Yeah, it's kind of a surprise little robot alley down here.
yeah, Robot Alley. So that's very cool.
So we see a lot of potential here. I mean, there's so many good, gifted people that work on, they work on the strip. They do work on shows. They do, animatronics or electronics for some of the
Hmm.
things on the strip. But also a lot of people just working in robots. Period. And part of that is because of BattleBots.
Hmm.
So BattleBots is kind of like it's like Nirvana for robot makers. It's like the place they want to bring the robots and they smash them up and compete. So that helps create a there in Las Vegas, if that makes any sense.
Anytime we can do something Vegas style where there's an entertainment component or now a sports component, or like BattleBots is both, right?
That's right.
So there's an entertainment component and a sports component to it. And anytime you can show people in Vegas that what you're doing ties into entertainment or sports, or gaming or hospitality, you always have a better shot than if you're just kind of trying to go on your own doing something interesting. So,
Very, very true. Very true. If you have the spin to it, and there's plenty, well, so there are plenty of ideas of robots for the entertainment industry and for food and service and hospitality. And I expect to see that those kind of ideas being germinated here in the community and then people working on them. But I'm also looking for robotics to automate a lot of tasks, a lot of, manufacturing, logistics, everyday jobs in, that where you could have a robot with you.
maybe setting up our live stream so we didn't have to muddle through that earlier, right? Right, Sophia?
There you go. Automatic, exactly.
Yeah.
Your assistant, right?
Yeah.
The cyborg or your robot assistant. So we see automation as a big area, as a big focus, and then there's a bunch of other projects going on that are happening here. And what's interesting about this, Justin, is, I mean, Jason, is that there's a lot of like really good raw talent here. And
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the kind of talent that you see in the Bay Area, but the
That's-
Bay Area talent is known because they work at famous, they have, well-known jobs in robots.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people who are that talented here, but they're behind the scenes working on stuff.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges in Las Vegas is we have a lot of talented kids here. Some of them are sitting in that room listening to a talk right now, and keeping them here is a real challenge. And then one of the other big challenges I see for workforce development and talent here in Las Vegas, and it comes from my background as a veteran, and we've talked a little bit about vets in tech, is we have these two big Air Force bases, and every year a couple of hundred kids decide to leave the Air Force after their first term as airmen, or maybe their first or second assignment as officers. And if they want to go into tech, where do they go? They go to the Bay Area, they go to Austin, they go to other
Yeah.
cities, and we would love to
Yeah.
keep them here, right? We would love to keep that talent here. So that's one of the things that I'm really interested in and passionate about is how do we help our homegrown talent stay, and how do we get these really smart, talented kids who are in the military and also our Guard and Reserve kids.
Yeah.
It's not just about active duty with the military, but how do we get them to stay, and not just to work for these companies, which is great. Employment is great, but I'm really interested in. You know what our tech community is like here. We have a lot of great non-technical founders with a lot of great technical ideas, but we don't have a lot of CTOs, really talented technical people to be their CTOs and their co-founders.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
really what I'm looking to is let's with our workforce development, not just create a workforce, create those future CTOs who are going to be the co-founders of these tech companies in Las Vegas in the future.
You know, it's a very interesting point. It's a very interesting point because if you want to raise money, you got to you got to check the boxes,
Mhm.
and you need to have a CTO person with some credentials. Otherwise, the investors won't take you seriously.
You can have the best look. It's not 2014 anymore. Nobody's investing in just an idea. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
You got to have traction, which means you either got to have sales or pre-sales or something that looks like that. And you got to have a plan if you have a tech stack on how you get from A to B on building the initial tech stack. And then you have to have a plan on when you take off and an investor pours gasoline in that fire, how are you going to blow up the tech stack to really scale? And we need young, smart, savvy people who are up to that challenge.
Yeah, I agree. 1,000%. Yeah. And so we believe that talent is here, but it needs to be nurtured and developed. But back to raising money,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the rubber hits the road,
Yeah.
right? If you want to build a company and raise from angel investors, you got to have certain building blocks in place, and you need to have a team, at least people on the team that know what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I built a couple robot companies in the Bay Area, and it's a long journey to get something funded. And it doesn't have to be that long, but you need to know how to structure a deal, how to position a deal, specifically on the hardware side, because hardware investors are, for the most part, more skeptical.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're more skeptical, and they want to see more. They want to see more development with your product. Now, there are 3 startup companies in the audience tonight that literally started, well, like the last 6 months or so. Their ideas, and now they're ready to pitch to investors, and they got some really cool products. Um, so one's for the beef packing industry that automates the cutting of meat on like, let's say, trims the meat and
Mm-hmm.
cuts the New York steak and cuts the
Yep.
prime rib and all those cuts, which is very hard to do, by the way. And this guy is an expert at this. So I'm excited for him. There's other people building robots for healthcare
Mm-hmm.
right now in town. That's health tech is a growing industry. So, I really, my own personal background in robotics is I came out of Panasonic building robots, and then I went to Mitsubishi.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm pretty adept at the Japanese approach to robots and how the Japan thinks about automation and robots. Um, so, there's a whole discipline around it. And I built robots from Silicon Valley with large Chinese investors. And so that, I guess what I'm trying to say is that the process of building something, you have to have the right resources around. Like, for example, if I'm going to start a robot company here, let's say next week, I'm going to need mechanical engineers. I'm going to need electrical engineers. I'm going to need software people. I need a place to actually build it, prototype it, build it, and then eventually show it to investors, right? And raise money. But all that needs to exist here in Vegas.
So what do we need to do? Because I'm a proud UNLV grad, MBA, UNLV 2017. UNLV is a great school, but our engineering school is kind of small. There's just not a lot of kids who are studying engineering here at UNLV. The ones who are here are great. There's some of them here in our audience tonight. But what can we do to get kids in Las Vegas excited about engineering?
That's a great question. I mean, well, we have to do things like this. We have to build awareness, right? And one of the things we're doing specifically for our community is we're open booking everything. So everybody's a member is going to know who other members are.
Yep.
We're not going to keep it closed behind a closed wall. We want to share this person's an ME engineer,
Mm-hmm.
and this is their background. You want to help with ME? Contact this person. This person's a systems or a sensor person, contact that person. That's the kind of collaboration. By the way, that's what happens back in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. There's a lot of that. This happens naturally because of all the different people there and the jobs. I mean, it's pretty frothy in terms of robotics there. but people still have to reach around and ask for help. They
Yeah.
need to, they still need a mechanical engineer. They may still need an EE engineer. The
Mhm.
problem over there is they cost 10 times more money.
Yeah.
And usually they don't want to leave unless they get a big equity position. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, here it's like you've got, I almost look at this Vegas is 1970s Bay Area. Like back before the computer industry took off, back
Mhm.
before venture was really big. I kind of feel the same roots are here in Vegas.
That's cool.
And I feel like the venture investment and the entrepreneurial business is only going to grow here. It just feels very ripe here for this. And I see evidence every week. And so things like this, what we're doing with our robotics meetup, is really basically to encourage people. Hey, look, go do it if you need help. Ask questions. And I think that's the best we can do for right now. Eventually, we'll be able to do more. We'll educate people on building robots.
What's great right now is that this meetup is happening tonight. There are other meetups that are happening. Like we've gone through this. I've been here, living here almost 10 years since I left the Air Force, and been part of this community because I was part of Rebel Venture Fund, which is an student-led angel investing fund at UNLV. That's how I kind of got in the community and fell in love with it. And I've seen this. People try to get this flywheel turning a couple of times in 10 years. And I really feel this time there's more people trying to turn that flywheel. There's more people saying, I'll host a meetup. There's more people saying, I want to show people something really cool. Right?
You're right.
There's more happening now. And I see that flywheel starting to turn, and more people want to see, not just want to see it turn, they want to help turn it.
That's right. That's right. It's true. I mean, I wasn't here for the Tony Hsieh days.
Yeah,
and
I was coming in just at the tail end of that.
Yeah. And he did a lot for the community and so on, but now it's no longer really active. But you know what's nice about what Tony did is he kind of kickstarted and it got people curious about things. And maybe I can make my own company. Maybe I can do something here, right? And I think that's a gift that is still here. I think that level of curiosity is still in Vegas. I think, in fact, it's growing if anything. And as you know, everybody in the world comes here. So if you need to have a meeting with important people, like at a company, customer, or somebody, the great thing about being here is they're going to be here at some point in the year. And you don't have to fly out to them; they'll fly to you.
Well, and what's great is when we say everyone, we really do mean everyone, and a lot of investors come to Vegas a couple times a year, and every so often they ask, is there anywhere I should be playing my money in Las Vegas? And it would be great to have some really good answers for them next time they come to town.
Absolutely. We want to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think as we build this community, hopefully it's going to grow, and we're going to put some more definition to it. We're going to give workshops. We're going to create initiatives. We're very much in discussion with GoEd, with First Robotics Nevada, with the city of Las Vegas, with the county, Clark County people and the STEM side. We want to be able to understand what they need and try as much as we can to find a happy medium.
Yeah, and Las Vegas Global Economics Alliance is excited about robotics and healthcare as well. Those
yes.
are two of the main areas they're trying to bring companies into town here. So
Perry Ursom is great at LVGA.
Yeah.
So it's all of those are. I mean, I will say right now, Nevada, unlike California, you can actually work with the politicians. I mean, the people that are in government here are actually
that's because they're only politicians for 120 days every 2 years. So
that's it. That's and that keeps them honest, right? So anyway, I think there's a lot of I like the collaboration between government and private industry. Anyway, so we have big plans, and we're looking to grow this, and I'm excited for it.
Cool. Yeah, we're excited here too. Thank you for having us tonight. Thank you for letting us be part of your meetup and do a little of our thing here tonight. Is there anything else you want to plug or anything else you want to make sure that the audience knows about?
Come down, visit us, be part of it, and join the community. It's growing, and it's going to be pretty active. So you'll see some interesting things develop, and you'll be motivated by I'll be inspired by what we're doing. So
and you can find it. Correct me if I get this wrong. You can find it on Meetup. Go to Meetup, and it's the Las Vegas Robotics Meetup on Meetup. And
that's right.
And there are a lot of people here tonight. So there were, I think, 70 RSVPs, and I think quite a few of them are here tonight. So that's really great.
It's a good sign.
Yeah,
it's a good sign.
So all right. Well, thanks, Bob. Thanks for joining us tonight. if you would send us someone else cool to talk to.
I will.
Go back into that room and send us someone cool to talk to.
All right.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Let's see if he. Thank you. Here, can you take those for me? They were in my hand when we started. Yes, we're still going live. I'm drinking water. Handed Sophia my glasses, so we're looking for a couple other people to tell you, to give you an idea who's here tonight. It sounds like the speaker's wrapping up, and they're doing some Q&A right now. So hopefully we'll be able to pull some of the young startup founders who are there in the room, and some of the other folks who are here. There's a lot of really great folks who are here tonight. So I'm going to take a little sip of water. Looks like Andy's going to come talk to us. So.
I never heard from you again. You evaporated. I'm glad they got you involved in this.
I tried to drag her to things. So.
Yeah, you have to. Dragging is,
But we
is
met.
the optimal word.
We met at a tech event. We met at a tech alley. So.
Yeah. Everybody meets through Tech Alley.
Well, that's what it's for.
See, I was going to wear that hat too today. You still need the black one, the black on black. I know you did.
He knows because he's got it.
No, I don't have it. If I had it,
all right,
I'd put it up for trade.
Well, welcome. It's good to see you again. Tell the audience who you are. What brings you here tonight?
I'm Andy Abramson. I run Communicano, and I'm helping Bob and Darius put the Las Vegas Robotics Meetup group on the map.
Perfect, because that's exactly what we need someone to help with, I think. So, and you've been involved in, you've been involved in a lot of things in Las Vegas and Nevada in general in terms of marketing, but especially the tech community. Tell us about some of the stuff you've done helping the tech community build its presence here.
Well, it's more than here. It's globally. Communicano has been in business since 1993, and since 2001, we've participated in 59 companies exiting, being acquired, or going public. For about the first 45 of them, raising $9.4 billion back to founders, executives, and investors. Now, those numbers seem really big, but to me, it's more impressive that Google's bought two of those companies. So if you have a Google Voice number, that was Grand Central, or if you're playing with Google Meet, that was Global IP Solutions, Codec Stack, that was acquired 2009, 2010. If you've ever made a voice over IP call with Vonage, well, two of the companies got acquired by Vonage were Simple Signal and Telesphere. Ever bought a concert ticket on StubHub? That was one of the first. I didn't realize we were doing this until we got to like number 7, that this was happening. And then as somebody said, Andy has the Midas touch. But now we're up to 59, and that's not an accident. So I'm looking to bring that same magic here into the robotics world, help companies grow up, tell their story better, build their brand, be able to tell their story to the right audiences at the right time with the right information through the right modes and mediums, whether it's video or whether it's robot just handing you something and saying hi.
Very cool. If someone who's watching is a robotics company founder or working in the robotics field, what are some of the elements they should be thinking of to be able to come to someone like you and have you help them tell their story?
It's really interesting you say that, because as Bob and Darius and I were talking, we look at the nascent community here, and I was like, we need Robot Alley. We need to create like a street, a shopping district, not a shopping district, but an industrial district of nothing but robots, kind of like the wine ghetto in Lompoc is. There's a bunch of wineries that are all literally in this block. And we need to create something like Robot Alley here in Las Vegas. But when they would come to my company, usually robot companies are engineering led and sales driven, and marketing kind of gets lost in the middle.
Absolutely, yeah.
You have very smart people who understand the technology backwards and forwards, but they can't explain it to grandmom, or they can't talk to a 5-year-old about it. So what we do is we create their identity, their story, their brand narrative, so it can be told and retold by others as if they told it themselves. And that process that we call the architecture of identity really puts an imprint on what the brand is all about, what the business is all about, starting with, what do you do?
Mhm.
It's like when people ask me, Andy, what do you do? I go, we exit companies. Okay, 3 words, we exit companies. Well, how do you do that? Through value creation, communication. So I did that in 4 words. It's not an elevator pitch of even a minute. That's less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, and you got it immediately.
Right.
3 words, then 4 words,
And then
we
they
all
go,
get it.
and they go, how do you do that? And I go, well, we build your brand story. We then figure out the boulevard of communication. Think of the grand boulevards of Paris or Madrid. No 2 houses were exactly the same size.
Mhm.
No 2 buildings were the same size. Well, communication is that way. Nothing's exactly the same. So we figure out who to tell your story to, how to tell it, when to
Mhm.
tell it. Most importantly is when. For example, next week, if you were going to launch a company that has mobile applications, would you do it next week? Well, the answer is no, because you're not going to go up against Apple and the Worldwide Developer Conference
Mhm.
any more than you would try and uh, launch a new product during Super Bowl week. It
Right.
just doesn't happen. You know, it's kind of like, forget about pushing the boulder uphill. You're not going to even get the boulder to start rolling. So we figure out the when, and then we figure out the what. Are we going to do great video work around it, like
Mhm.
you're doing tonight? Are we going to utilize artificial intelligence to create a series of vignettes from that single piece of video?
Mhm.
Are we going to use social media? Are we going to use advertising? How are we going to support the channel? Do you have a sales channel strategy, or are you selling direct? All these pieces come together into the boulevard of communication, and we figure out what to do, when, and who. Who are you going to go after? How are you going to get to them? And then what does the engagement look like back to you as a business? So all of those pieces come together. And I think the robotics industry is in need of that kind of help.
Exactly. So, can you give us a little preview on what you're thinking for the when and the what for Robot Alley?
Robot Alley, we have to find a real estate mogul here in town who understands robots, or understands that building a community of many companies together, all doing the same thing, would be good for Las Vegas. And here's why. You have to take an artisan mentality
Mhm.
to this, where in the old days in a village, you had the blacksmith, you had the leather maker, you had the glass blower, you had the butcher, you
Mhm.
went down the street, and if the butcher needed something that he didn't have, he would go across the street, maybe to the blacksmith, and pick up a tool.
Right.
People helping people. So as a community gets started, let's say you have a certain type of robot developer, but you need somebody else who does software in a different software
Mhm.
language. Well, that exists across the street. So that person comes over and helps you in a village-like environment.
Mhm.
They always say it takes a village. Well, if we can create a village of robotic companies here in Las Vegas and bring them together, and they use the sharing is caring approach
Mhm.
to helping one another out, that it's not about being paid. You know, one of the things that, when you spend time in Silicon Valley like I have and Bob has, or in San Diego or other markets, the the camaraderie and the sense of community and helping somebody out needs to be here in Las Vegas, as opposed to, I have my hand out every
Mhm.
time to do it. So like the work that Bob and Darius and I started to do, I came up with the concept. Darius put together a form. Now we have a sign up form to create a directory.
Mhm.
I threw a website together using some AI tools that I have, which we'll publish in a few days, we hope. But it's very close to being ready to go. That tells the story of the Las Vegas Robotic Meetup.
Mhm.
If you look at the room tonight, there's over 70 people in
Yeah,
that
there's a
room.
ton of people in there.
That's more people than come to some of the other events for startups in this community.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it shows that there's interest. And then the next layer of all of this is, how do we get into the high schools and the colleges to get the students who have wonderment in
Mhm.
their eyes, because this is a next frontier. And if we can make Las Vegas the epicenter for robots and robotic activity around the world, everybody comes to Vegas. So why not come to Vegas for robots?
I couldn't agree more. So it sounds fantastic. It sounds like you and Bob and Darius are all taking we've talked to both Darius and Bob tonight, and it's been great. And it sounds like I've learned a ton about this meetup and exactly how far it has come in such a short time over the last couple of days.
Well, I'll give credit to Bob and Darius. I was away for a while, and as I was away, I said to Bob, why don't you let me put some thought behind this? I delivered like a 50-page document the other day, and I delivered the website and the positioning statement. And basically, Darius has done a great job at working the community. He knows the people. Bob has a deep background in robots. I'm bringing that. I don't know a darn thing about how these things work, but I'm smart enough to figure it out.
But you know,
I know how to tell the story.
You know how to exit companies through
Exactly.
telling
I know how to tell the
stories.
story. I didn't know anything about voice over IP in
Yeah.
1999, but I knew about streaming, and I applied what I knew about streaming, having been one of the original streamers. Before there was a pod to cast, Ken Rakowski and I were podcasting. So, and we had 300,000 daily listeners by the time we stopped doing it. And that was real downloads. That wasn't just streams. That was actual downloads. So I applied what I knew to streaming, which is one way, to voice over IP, which is bi-directional communication in a symmetrical basis. But the same things there. We're strategic generalists. You know, me, a robot is no different than an automobile, no different than a piece of software or a telecom stack. You use the same principles of marketing to figure out how to get to an audience and how to educate the audience. But to your question, we need to build a community here in Las Vegas, and the last 2 robotic meetups have been a heck of a good start.
Yeah, this is impressive tonight. So what's coming up for the robotics community, the Las Vegas Robotics Meetup, and what's coming up for Andy?
Stay tuned on what's coming up next. I don't want to give away all of our secrets yet.
Okay, well, you'll have to come next month. So
what's up with Andy? Andy's just happy to be in Vegas and, you know, enjoying the wonderful warming up weather that we're having. We're definitely out of the cold, blowy cold weather. Now we're into the warm, windy weather.
Weird year.
Yeah, it's getting warm and windy.
Yeah.
This weekend. We're going to get a lot of sunshine this weekend, which means go out and about once the temperature drops to about 90.
Yep.
Because then you don't feel it. Your body's at 98.6.
Yep.
Usually, or somewhere close to that. You go out in the afternoon when the sun's starting to drop, and I'm going to enjoy. I love Vegas. But what's up around Vegas? More events, more meetups, more activities, and a build up to what we can do in the future.
Can't wait. Can't wait to hear more about it. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
So thanks for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
It's great to see you again.
Anytime.
If you see James Ritchie in there, would you send him in? I'd like to talk to him about Jewel Fit. I figured you probably were.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I do. We have to get together while I'm home.
So that was Andy Aberson. He's kind of a fixture, maybe even a little bit of a legend around Las Vegas for the work he's done. So we're Andy Aberson. So dare I say legend. So so we're talking to the folks responsible for getting the Las Vegas Robotics Meetup going. But as you've seen through the 3 guests we've talked to tonight, they're not just robotics guys. They're not just involved in one particular aspect of what's going on in the tech scene here. They are completely, they come from the Bay Area. They come from the San Diego tech community. They come from all over, and they bring a lot of experience, and they bring that mentoring that we are really looking to get in our tech community here. And they're doing such a great job. But we're gonna bring on James Ritchie now. He's the founder of Jewel Fit. I believe we're still calling it Jewel Fit. And come on in, have a seat. Sophia will get you set up with the mic.
How are you? Good to see you. Is that good?
All right, that should be
Should I
great.
take these off?
Good to see you. Whatever you're comfortable with, I think they look good. You've got that
The blue light blocker.
that eccentric billionaire look going right there. So, and hopefully you'll be that eccentric billionaire sooner rather than later. So tell us all about. Is it still called Jewel Fit?
It is.
Tell us all about it.
We're currently going through a rebranding process.
Okay. Andy's helping you out.
Of course, Andy's doing the marketing and the strategy. we're located in Blackfire and 8400 West
Mhm.
Sunset.
Yep.
We have a display unit there, and we're doing full-blown workouts. We're gathering data right now.
Yeah, so let's get right into like the basics of what it is. So if you like to work out, you like to spend your 2 to 3 hours a day in the gym, James has an alternative for you. Tell us all about what JewelFit does, how it's going to, if you are serious about your workouts, how it's going to save you a bunch of time.
JewelFit is a technology company. We're using data, robotics, and AI
Mm-hmm.
to displace everything we think we know about fitness.
Yep.
So I can take your 2 to 6 hours you spend in the gym each week, and I can replace it with 2 15-minute sessions that are more effective. And we do this using robotics.
Mm-hmm.
In real time, we're matching your output force over the range of motion. And by doing that, I can work more of your muscle fibers
Mm-hmm.
in a 90-second set than you can do in 10 sets because I've got an unlimited safe negative.
Yeah, so you can get those muscles to failure in just a couple of reps as opposed to over and over and over again for hours in the gym, right?
Yes. And then AI is going to sit on top of the platform
Mhm.
and start adjusting the workout to you
Right. That's the
goal-
most impressive thing.
to keep you from plateauing.
Yep.
So you may be doing 3 reps, I may be doing 10 reps.
Right.
And over time, it's going to sit there and adjust.
So it
that.
varies your resistance, it varies your reps, the AI is doing all kinds of great stuff that AI does in order to give you in a very short period of time the best workout for you.
Yes. And we've also gamified the workout. So on a 65-inch gamified monitor,
Mhm.
you're competing against your personal best every time you go into the gym.
Okay.
So that's a huge motivating factor. And then we're also collecting the data. So you're going to be able to compete against everyone in your age group, everyone in Las Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
everyone in the world. And then we're going to set up world champions where we have a belt in each weight class.
That's fantastic.
So eventually you can be the best in the world at one lift or all 5 lifts.
and you get 2 workouts a week. That's all you need. But 2 workouts a week, you're basically getting an opportunity to compete with everybody else.
Yes, your body won't, we've been doing a lot of testing. Beyond 2 workouts, your body won't recover. So because I'm collecting the data points, I
Mhm.
know exactly when you're training too much.
Awesome.
So we'll start adjusting that second workout within about 3 months of you starting the process.
Okay, great. So yeah, so it's so real overachievers can't come in and try to get that third workout in. It won't really help them because you've already pushed them to that point.
I will
into-
absolutely let them try it, but
Mhm.
very quickly, if you're not improving on a consistent basis,
Mhm.
you're overtraining. So very
Yeah.
quickly they understand that all you can do is 2 of them.
So tell us about some of the robotics challenges you had to overcome. What to get this going from idea to actual hardware that you've got now.
The idea came about, I built assembly lines for about 20 years in my previous life. And we used force matching in many types of applications
Mhm.
where you're inserting something to a force or to a level. And the entire time I'm thinking, why hasn't someone applied this to the human body?
Mm-hmm.
So Curves about 15 years ago sold, and my previous partner called me and said, we're going into the specialty gym market. And I'm like, I've got the workout.
Okay.
So I've taken what happens in a factory floor and I've applied it to the human body.
Okay.
It's very difficult to apply it to the human body because it has to be absolutely safe.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you 1,200 pounds on the upper body and the negative.
Mhm.
So the machine can't move if you're failing.
Right.
So we're using the human body to activate the force, and we're reading the force. So if you stop pushing, it immediately stops. So we've got a safety factor.
So it's
built in.
100% safe. There's no
Yes.
no one has to worry about getting in a situation or position where the robot's going to overwhelm them because it's actually a human who is always in control of what's going on.
That's correct.
Very cool. So what brings you to the robotics meetup tonight?
One of the my advisors is part of the club, Bob Christopher. He's on
Yep.
my board of
We
advisors.
talked to him tonight.
And a great guy, by the way.
Yeah.
And everyone in this community is kind of a part of what I do. So I can learn. I can keep learning from these guys.
Well, it's fantastic to see you here, and I hope we'll get you to be a mentor in this community as well, because that's one of the things that I think is really important for specifically robotics, but being involved in our larger tech community here in Las Vegas is, it's great to have mentors and to go to things where you can find mentors, but it's also, I think it's really important for us all to be mentors to folks who could use it too. So
No, absolutely. And as we're going to manufacture here in Las Vegas. So eventually we're going to have every type of equipment, whether it's automated welding, we're going to have e-coat, we're going to build our own circuit boards. So we're going to have all the tools to build basically any mechanical project you would want.
it sounds like you guys are going to be a key part of that robot alley that Andy's talking about.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
If we're going to have this equipment, why not let the community access it?
I can't wait till that comes about, and I can't wait to have a big block party where we get to broadcast live from, and everybody's kind of coming and going and having a good time when we get Robot Alley kicked off. I'm really excited about that.
Absolutely.
So what else is coming up? What else is coming up for you personally? What else is coming up for Jewel Fit? Any
We
exciting
have-
milestones coming up?
Yes, we're currently in a raise. We're raising $3 million for the next round. That's going to open our flagship location.
Okay,
And
here in Vegas.
absolutely, the
Good.
first 5 to 6 will be in Vegas
Great.
before we start branching out. We're in basically having discussions about the next 2 funding raises. So
That's great. It's great that you guys have a strategy, and you know how you're going to use that funding to bump and scale yourselves up at the appropriate times. That's fantastic. So what else?
come and join us for a workout.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
How can people find you? How can they get connected with you to come down and get a workout down at Blackfire?
My email is james.richey, RICHEY, at JewelFit. That's JOULEFIT.com. And come and try a workout. We've been testing. Come and see what the workout's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something you should check out. Yeah, I should come down sometime. I
and-
haven't been down yet, so
It's a great, being in Blackfire, everyone's doing content from the workout. It's a great
are you
place
guys
to
up on
do
the fourth
content.
floor at Blackfire?
We're on the 3rd floor.
On the 3rd floor. Okay, so you're in the because I'm a member over at Cooperate on the other half of the 3rd floor. So hey, Sophia, want to go down and
No, I'm in Cooperate.
you're in Cooperate. Okay.
I see your name on the mailbox.
Yeah, I need to come down and get my mail. Yeah, we want to go down and do a robot workout. All right, Sophia's in. We're gonna come down and do a robot workout. So
Yeah, she's tried it before.
oh, well
when
then
it was
no,
in
you
my
can't
house.
come if you've already done it before. All right, fine, I'll allow it. All right. Well, James, thanks. It was great talking to you tonight. We're going to
Thank
come
you.
down and see you. Everybody go reach out to James. And if you are in the Vegas area, 1, keep coming down to Las Vegas Robotics Meetup. 2, go see James and try out a workout at Jewel Fit.
Thank you. I
right,
appreciate
thank you.
it. Thank you. Once this funding round is going to happen in June, so
Are you guys almost closed?
we got 2 groups competing right now, so
That's great.
maybe at the end of the conversation.
Oh, yeah. I want to get you on like the regular podcast at some point to talk about all the things you're doing. So this is just something we're trying to, I'm trying to generate a little more content from the channel and B,
that's awesome.
highlight the things that are going on, because honestly, these kind of, like, we probably won't get a lot of people watching live tonight, but this will start getting a lot of views.
We're doing this Facebook Live.
This is going out LinkedIn Live on my LinkedIn profile and live on my YouTube channel. So, but yeah, on YouTube, this will probably start getting a lot of traction in a week or 2. So
Very cool. A lot of people. I'm getting people doing content all the time. I mean, I'm getting access to the UFC. I'm getting all these people.
that's great.
The ring girls are coming. They're going to broadcast.
Sounds like I need to come broadcast.
Well, but that gives us exposure. Now the next step is, Dana White and everything
That's
else.
fantastic.
Anyway,
Good to see you. I'm going to try to get one more of these in here before we pack up. I have no idea. It's probably not a lot. Zero. Because what I'll do is I'll cut this up into smaller chunks
Cool.
and post them. So
Very cool.
all right, go ahead and pull that microphone so it's kind of just about a fist away from your face. Get yourself comfortable. Sophia will help you out.
I guess.
You good?
Yeah.
All right.
Never done this before.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are, and you're here because we've already talked. I mentioned earlier when we were talking to some of the guests, Rebel Venture Fund, which I'm a proud alumni of, but you're still doing Rebel Venture Fund.
That's right.
So tell us who you are and what Rebel Venture Fund is all about.
Name's Chris. I am currently director of portfolio management, Rebel Venture Fund. It's a new position. For a while, I was doing recruiting there. It was a great position. Getting students excited about venture and startups.
Yep.
Showing them there's a possible career here in the Valley to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So that's exciting. So we didn't have the portfolio management position. So what is that about? Tell me about that.
So we're still working that out. That's going to be my job to figure out what the role entails. But we found it necessary to keep in touch with our portfolio companies who we've already invested in as the RVF. Pretty much companies that it's better to stay in contact, maybe see if we could potentially help them. And yeah, so it's really
it's great to see, because that was so first let me be really clear. Back in the old days of RVF, when I was there 2015 to 2017, we only had 2 investments.
right.
So keeping up with our portfolio companies was really easy. It was, basically, I was on the due diligence team for one of them, and it just came down to the point where that I would just be the one who called that founder and talked to that founder every couple of weeks and to see how things were going. And then we had someone else kind of in a similar position for the other one. But you guys have quite a few portfolio companies now.
I mean, it's not that many more than 2, maybe more like 5.
Five is still more. Five is greater than 2.
Right. Unfortunately, many of that 5 I don't think are no longer in business.
Well, it happens, but that's
yeah.
Well, and explain that a little bit. Explain the whole idea of why you have to kind of keep your powder dry and invest in different kinds of companies whether you're an individual angel investor or a fund.
Well, venture, no matter what you do, is always going to be very, very hard, because 90% of the companies you're going to invest in are going to go straight to zero. So what you have to do is invest with volume, and just invest in as many opportunities as possible. The idea of being a fund manager and doing due diligence is to mitigate that risk as much as possible.
Absolutely.
You can't be right 100% of the time, but you can do as best as you can.
Yeah. Our rule of thumb was, for every 10 companies you invest in, maybe 1 is going to have a good exit. 3 are kind of going to do okay. You might get like a 3 to 5 times return, not that 30x you're looking for. Another 5 are going to be what we used to call the Walking Dead, right? They're businesses that are kind of plugging along, and then 3 are just going to fail. And those are the ones you invested in. Never mind the ones you decided to pass on. So
exactly. That's if you do a really good job. That scenario right there, where you have one really good exit.
The best fund managers are doing that ratio. So.
Yeah, it's a hard industry to be in. There's a lot of heartbreak, because
But you're looking for a career in that here in the Valley.
Yeah. I mean, I've been bouncing around right now. That's what's great about being a student. You can explore your options. Right now, I'm actually exploring building my own startup. I haven't talked to you about this, but this is a project I'm working on.
All right. Well, we can talk now, or we can talk another time. So
maybe another time.
All right. Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Still in stealth mode.
Let's definitely talk when
absolutely.
When you want to. We'll talk off camera about that.
Definitely.
Cool. So what's coming up for Rebel Venture Fund? What kinds of companies are you looking to bring into the portfolio?
Yeah. So right now, we're just trying to build our volume. Right now, we're still true to being industry agnostic. We really don't care, as long as you're bringing something to Nevada and you're bringing something to the world, right?
Yep.
You're building something that's going to make a difference, and hopefully you're going to build something that exits in 5 to 10 years.
Excellent. So if we've got any founders watching and they want to get in the pipeline for your deal flow, how do they get a hold of you?
I think info@rebelventurefund.com is a great option. Just email us. We check it constantly.
I remember.
That's your great option. Or reach out on LinkedIn, any of our members. That's actually the best option. Just a cold DM, just saying you're raising money. That's no one actually does that. Like, no one.
No one ever reaches out on
No,
LinkedIn?
It's always on email. It's always info@rebelventurefund. And
if you're watching this on my LinkedIn stream right now, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, and then I will get you connected with Chris.
It's a great option.
Who's doing deal flow? Who's running?
Who's doing deal flow? Right now, Jack, my good friend. He's actually been doing a great job. He's helping us get more in touch with Startup NV a lot.
Okay,
So
yeah, you
he's
guys
current-
definitely should be like, that's been a good relationship, but it really needs to be much tighter.
Absolutely. It helps that right now he's an intern at Startup NV
Oh, okay,
on their
great.
deal flow side, so he knows a lot of the companies going through that pipeline. So it's been a great situation
Okay,
so far for getting a good feel of the stuff that's been coming through.
all right. And when are you on
lately.
track to graduate for?
I think I have a good 3 years left in me.
3 years left.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you the best. Keep,
Thank you.
Keep bouncing around.
Thank
keep
you.
looking for that. Keep doing the good things you're doing at Rebel Venture Fund. Anything else you want our viewers to know about you?
No, just add me on LinkedIn. That'd be great.
Okay, tell
More
them your
connections, the
first
better.
and last name again.
Chris Rosales. I think that's my full name's Christian, but no H. No H. I forget that. That's CRIS Rosales.
If you get in a bind, find me on LinkedIn, and I'll get you connected with Chris and the other good folks at Rebel Venture Fund. Definitely a group worth getting to know, whether you are a founder looking for funding, or you're interested in the startup community, or you're interested in getting involved in venture or angel investing. Getting to know, and if you're a student at UNLV, you should certainly get to know the folks at Rebel Venture Fund.
Yes,
So-
that's the number one. If you are a student at UNLV, you have no reason not to apply to Rebel Venture Fund. We just came back from a San Francisco trip, completely all expenses paid for. So we just had a free trip to San Francisco, and we met with some awesome startups. We met other investors. We went to conferences, and throughout the entire year, you have plenty of opportunities to network with fellow professionals, build your professional skills. It's a no-brainer really to join RVF as a student.
And we have a Vets in Tech thing coming up. It's a little early, but it's coming up in July, and we need to get Rebel Venture Fund involved in that as well. So,
Absolutely.
and we'll get news to all of you about what that event for Vets in Tech is about coming up in July as well. But I think we're gonna call it a night. I think you're gonna be our last guest tonight. But it was
Awesome. It's an honor.
Great to see you and sit down with you.
Likewise.
And good luck in school, and good luck with Rebel Venture Funds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
All right, everybody. We've had a great night at the Las Vegas Robotics Meetup. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. If you're watching this later, please reach out to our guests. Please reach out to Darius. Please reach out to Bob. Please reach out to Andy. Please reach out to James. Go do a workout at Jewel Fit if you're in the Las Vegas area. If you're a UNLV student, if you're a high school student, if you're just someone, whether you're in Las Vegas or not, if you're interested in venture capital or angel investing or the startup community, reach out to Chris and the folks at Rebel Venture Fund. All of these folks you met tonight, they're great gateways into this community. They're great mentors. They're great folks who will sit there and answer your questions and help you figure out if and how you want to fit into this community. So a great broadcast from the Las Vegas Robotics Meetup. I can't wait to see you guys all again at the next tech event we stream from. Onward and upward.